Okay, good morning, everyone. We have a very special episode this morning. I say that every time, but truly, it is for sure. It's a girls' episode. We're pumped. Yay. We have the incredible MaryKatherine Black with us today from Yellow the Label, here to tell us about her story of founding the brand, growth, some incredible personal success you've had, and inspiration. We could not be more excited to have you here. I, in fact, am a fangirl myself. So today was very exciting for me. I actually, this morning, was debating on what do I wear?
Oh, you look amazing.
Is it a weirdo to like wear your label to the podcast? It's like wearing, wearing the concert t-shirt to the concert.
Before you buy it.
Is it cool?
That's so adorable.
Is it cool? Is it not cool? You know, like, I don't know. What are we doing? So
no, I love what you have on. I love the wacky. You know that.
Yes.
If you know the brand. So yeah.
Well,
you nailed the wacky.
Thank you. Great. Okay. So question answer.
You're trying for it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I love it. So we have so many questions. We have 21 minutes, which is never enough time. So I'm just going to launch straight in with a good little icebreaker for us. If your designs could talk, what would they say about you?
About me, they would probably say that I get bored easily. But, you know, people say the designs stand out, and that's really not the goal. The goal is just to be interesting, right? Like I think even as a person, I get a little bit bored, and I want to be interested in learning, doing something new. So, yeah, I'd get bored probably.
As a hub of ADD professionals around here, like, I love it. I understand it.
It's a superpower, though.
It truly is. Yes, especially in a world for you that is so highly saturated. The constant need and desire to move into the next thing, new idea, new season, metaphorically and seasonally.
Yeah.
Has to be, that's got to be, to your point, like a superpower. How do you harness that?
Well, it's interesting because you want to be known for different pillars. You want to be known for something. Without that, marketing and brand recognition is almost impossible. But you also always want to be surprising people. So the element of novelty is one of our pillars. And in order to do that, you have to constantly be innovating. So it's this tension of always going, okay, does this collection have enough that is consistent with who we are and what people know us as? And then also, does it surprise them in some way?
Love that. Yeah. And that's a hard tension and balance, I feel like, to try and navigate.
I never know the right thing. Yeah. I'm just always having fun with it. That's all we know.
Just throwing it out there.
Yeah. We're just trying things, and we're doing what we love, because I think like it's one thing to think about marketing from a perspective of what are people going to love? But me, my friends, the girls I know, the women that are entering motherhood or they just graduated college, because we have we don't have just one woman that we keep in mind when we design for. So yeah, it's going, what would we love? Like, what do I love? Do I want to wear this? That's so important, because if we lose that, and if my sister doesn't want to wear my stuff because it's maybe too out there, or something that she can't just pull out of her suitcase on vacation or whatever, if it's too specific, then we've kind of lost our target of serving women.
So important. I feel like we find kind of as marketers, and through that lens, people are either in two camps. They're making things for themselves only, or they're making things from everyone else and they don't even matter anymore. So it sounds like you found this really nice marriage.
I would like to say I found it, but it's always a question, right? like that's always the question is this something that is going to serve the mass market, or are we going to serve a niche market really, really well? Yep. And I think we do a little bit of both, but we're always trying to stay focused on the balance of that. Because as a fashion brand, you have to have, very specific people in mind, and you also don't want to isolate people at the same time. So it's just always a tension. Most good things I feel in life have a tension, right? You have to think with multiple plates spinning, and it can't just be a one-shot wonder, a one path. You've got to understand and have wisdom and context.
Not if you want staying power. If you're a flash in the pan and you're, I don't know why I just went here, Von Dutch, like, immediately comes to mind, the one-trick pony that never to be seen again. Like, if we could just throw that back for a hot moment, the appeal, I think, of what you're describing is being able to take advantage of like the moment, the culture, the season, while staying relevant, which is very hard to do.
Yeah, because if you think about even when we first launched, a lot of who we are is very consistent to what I planned, what I wrote down in my first, phone notes app. But you think about the methodology of reaching people. We get bored so easily as a culture.
Yep.
And so I remember when I first started in 2021 posting memes and animal videos, and that was unheard of for fashion. Like genuinely, everybody's done that now. So now I don't do it so much.
Right.
But at the time, it was something that was novelty and new, and it helped us get traction because people might not like the blouse I was selling, but they love that dog video. And then if you make the dog video relate to your clothes, or you say something about it. So, but honestly, that got commonplace so quick. So then you're constantly challenged as a marketer. You're going, okay, but what people, what haven't they seen a million times? So I ask that question every week. I challenge our team with that every week. And I'm constantly like just respectful of, we all are inundated with so many messages. How can you do something new and fresh and also keep it authentic? It's the $1 million question.
It truly is. You said something, and I want to just take it back there for a hot moment. When you launched the brand out of your garage, so I hear, metaphorically speaking, was it really in your garage?
Well, so when it first started, we had no capital. I had worked 2 jobs. We just gotten engaged. So we launched right on the other side of marriage. And
because your co-founder is your husband.
My husband,
Yes.
I say he does I do all the fun stuff, all the creative stuff. Perfect. He does all the not fun stuff.
Yeah. We love this model.
Yeah. It's a really good model for me.
Okay.
But he's good at all that stuff and I'm not. So it works. Thank God for him. But we had nothing. And he's the one who convinced me to do it in the first place. I was still at a place in my life at 24 where I was like, I still have to prove myself. And all my friends are at this point climbing corporate ladders and in big 4 firms and at Google and Deloitte. And they're doing these amazing things in the corporate space or lawyers or whatever it may be. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to start a clothing brand. But it was my husband's idea, and it felt so silly to me because I still felt like I had to prove myself in an intellectual sense, I think.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't ever what I saw myself doing with my life. I don't care about business. That's not a bone in my body. That's his body. I just like creative things. I like fashion, but I didn't go to fashion school, right? So there was a lot of maybe what you would call imposter syndrome, but also a lot of, well, I don't know what else to do. I'm praying for an idea, some cool invention, or, they talk about you need to serve a gap. Like, there's tons of fashion brands. Why am I doing this? Well, and it was really just because in my previous jobs, I had never done anything creative, but I always felt that bend. And I knew that there was something in me that wasn't totally fulfilled if I wasn't doing art in some way. Yeah. And so my husband just convinced me to do it. And I said, if I don't have a better idea by our honeymoon, I will do the clothing brand. And it will hurt me. It will pain me because I had to get over a lot of fear of man and a lot of fear of what people would think. Right. From my previous job to the people I graduated college with. And I had to face that. I've had to face that 1,000 times ever since launching. That wasn't the last time that I had to get over fear of man. But man, it paid off. Yeah. And I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about what can happen when you just step out and keep iterating and keep going. And now here we are.
I love that.
That's great having that support too from your husband to like push you, not husband at the time, fiance, to push you in that way too.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I wouldn't have launched. I think that's the thing. Like, girls come to me now and they're like, okay, how do you know you're ready? I'm like, I was not ready. But he said, you've got to tell me your date that you're deciding to launch. Yep. And we're launching that day. Because he could tell as a perfectionist, I wasn't going to do it. I was going to keep waiting and being
completely
iterating and making it a little bit better. And finally, I gave him the date. I chose it. And then I said, okay, we're doing it.
We're going to go. We're going to go. Yeah. Love this. We have a saying around here that don't let the opposite of done be perfect.
Yeah.
It sounds like you just went for it and you've been learning along the way.
Yeah, I think before that, in my previous job, one of my mentors gave me the best analogy I've ever had in my life, and I use it all the time, and I tell people about it all the time. And she said she was dating a Marine commander who she asked over dinner one day, she said, how do you make such important decisions?
Yeah.
Because it would be almost paralyzing in order to have people's
It's a high
lives
stakes.
at
Yeah.
stake. I mean, what a question, right? And he said to her, our rule is that 70% certainty, execute violently.
Woo!
And it's a little extreme. We don't need to be so violent.
I mean, aggressive.
But
Like,
it gave me the freedom to realize there are certain decisions, most decisions in life, that the decisions which can be reversed, right?
Yes.
So I'm not talking about life or death moments or things you can't ever take back. But if it's a career move, if it's a city move, if it's a decision that you know there's a way around it, if it was the wrong thing, so to speak, 70% is enough to move forward.
Yeah.
And I'm hardly ever more than 70% sure about anything.
Yeah.
I used to tell myself I was indecisive my whole life because I couldn't make decisions confidently. And I still don't think I make them super confidently, but I know if 70% is enough, and it's gotten me so far.
Okay. First off, yes to 70%. This is a new rule. Secondly, tell us about the foundation of the brand and how you came up with the name. Was that a 100%? How did we fall? I mean, because sometimes analysis paralysis, it feels like now you're going to be anchored to this because you are, right? Through the remainder of whatever is to come for your business. So this is a big decision of how to name your company. Yeah. And I'm just really curious, were there iterations? How did you land on this? I mean, Yellow the label is very unique. So tell us the story.
Yeah, I love this story. I wish people asked me about it more, actually, because it was the most marking thing that ever happened to me in my entire life. So I'm a Bible-believing Christian, but I had always had this thing where when people would talk about hearing the audible voice of God, it wasn't that I was skeptical. I didn't believe it didn't happen, but I was like, okay, but what's that sound like? I just had questions about it. Well, nothing like this had ever happened to me in my life, but when I was in that phase that I described previously, where I wasn't sure what I even wanted to do with my life, my husband was telling me, you need to start a fashion brand.
Right.
Fiance at the time, I was like, I don't know, I need direction. I didn't get direction. I didn't get an audible voice telling me exactly what to do, but what I did do is I had a dream in the night, and it was so powerful that I almost don't want to call it a dream. I woke up and I was like vibrating and I was like, what is happening? Because that was the realest thing, most powerful thing that ever happened. What happened in it, in short, is I saw this in the night. I saw this like glowing field, and it was this golden yellow color. And there was a tree in the middle of the field, and I didn't see, but I heard very clearly a voice that sounded like love, and I immediately knew that it was God the Father. And what happened is he said, how do you teach a bird how to fly? And I was mute, and I was like, I felt like I couldn't move, but I knew something really intense and amazing was happening at the time. Mm-hmm. And so after he said that, he said, how do you teach a bird how to fly? And then he said, you take it to the highest branch. And I looked down, and suddenly I was at the top of the tree.
Woo! Goosebumps.
And I was looking down, and it was scary. And I remember feeling like a little bit of trepidation, but also the love and the glory surrounding me was so powerful and so thick and so amazing. I can still feel it to this day. It changed my life. And then I woke up, and I had no idea what it meant. And honestly, it was years before I realized, I think that dream was God preparing me, that it was going to feel scary as we built this brand.
Right.
And then I was going to learn how to fly on the way down, which is what happened. I mean, I didn't know how to make clothes. I kind of knew how to sew, but nothing about running a business, nothing about production, everything we had to learn, my husband and I together. And so when I was naming my brand that fall, I had everything spelled out. I knew the vision. I knew what I wanted the clothes to look like. I knew the feeling. Everything has remained pretty consistent. However, I couldn't think of a name. And that's so frustrating as a founder because you know
Super
how important a name is.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people go through this. So I was actually considering taking on an investor one morning in the fall. And I was flying to meet them in Atlanta. And I had everything mapped out and on my slides to tell them about where we were with development of the brand. And I just didn't have the name. And I had some, some words you like. And you're like,
yes.
I don't feel great about any of them. I'm so frustrated. This is so important. I was just flipping through my journal, trying to search for anything meaningful to me. And I had written about that encounter, and I had the word gold and yellow because I'd looked up everything all the symbols that I saw, everything that happened.
Yes.
And I had found that color is found in scripture in Revelation 21:18, where it talks about the streets of gold. And how there's no shadows in heaven because the glory of God is so thick and everywhere. And so that word Chrysion in the original text, I had written it down and all the different, and I was like, yellow the label. Gold the label doesn't hit quite as good, but yellow the label, right?
Yes.
So it's a little rogue, but every time that I see it, I'm reminded of that. And I didn't even know at the time that I named it that that encounter actually was about the brand, I believe now.
Yes.
Because that's what the last 5 years felt like. So that's how I named it.
That's an amazing story. Thank you for sharing that. It's so inspirational. I feel like, Bible-believing Christian also have had a few encounters like this too. And to hear your story as a reflection back and through the experiences, the revelation and the vision will just continue to unfold, right? In other ways that you didn't even recognize or realize. So incredible. That's amazing.
Gave me goosebumps.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like drawn in.
I think God wants to, I know he wants to speak to us in our sleep, and I never really am a dreamer. So sometimes I remember that and it makes me go, or when I'm telling people, I'll go, you can pray for the same thing.
Yeah.
It won't be what you're looking for, probably. I wanted life direction.
He might push you out of a tree. Just be ready.
I wanted him to tell me this was the right move, starting a clothing brand. Didn't get any of that.
Of course.
Just got his presence from it. Got a little hand on my shoulder going, okay, I'm with you. This is real. And so, he probably won't tell you what you're looking for all the time, but he'll give you what you need. And so it's important to share, I think, because it stirs up faith that he can do the same for all of us.
Well, speaking of blessings, you got a pretty incredible award recently, Forbes 30 Under 30. How has that changed your life? Has that impacted the brand, the business in any way? What does that mean? Was that always a goal? Did it just sneak up and bite you? I can't imagine the incredible success that brings hasn't had some type of impact. Tell us.
It's been fun. I'll say that. It's been fun because it gives you kind of this stamp of approval from what the world says is important. And so it's been fun because you get kind of this recognition. People take you a little bit more seriously when I'm emailing different companies to work with them and to partner with them. I have a little bit more credibility because I can say, hey, Forbes recognized us. We're not just, podunk down the street.
Right.
However, it is just an award. So it's been fun. It's been meaningful. I felt a lot of gratitude for the people that I've been able to meet through it at events and just the network that it's given me. It was never an end goal dream. I mean, I think it's amazing, but it was never something that I set out and said, I'm going to do this by the time I'm 30.
Yeah.
So it was really sweet that in my last year before I turned 30, that happened. And I'm glad, but it's mainly just been fun and opened up my network, which is so important.
Completely. Yeah. I would have a hard time believing that it wouldn't have opened doors that maybe you were prepared for and lined up for, but needed some rooted society nod, right, to walk you in. So,
and I don't know a lot of entrepreneurs that are my age who are dealing with a lot of the large scale things that we're dealing with. So that's been really just sweet to have comrades in that.
Early in the interview, you mentioned some pillars about your brand. And I want to just dig in because we talk and think about pillars around here all the time. So I'm like, you're speaking our language. I know a couple of them, sustainability, you've got ethical sourcing, but also there's some like really cool creative influence that you have decided to integrate continually into the brand. I think I read texture and some other really creative. Talk to us about that strategy and those decisions.
Yeah. Well, I always say like it would be fun to have a white t-shirt brand to where you can sell black, white, simple things. We know there's very successful companies that do that, and we run to them for those things. I love that. But as an emerging brand, the way you get attention, the way we realized early to get attention was to do something different. And so I wear a lot of really simple things. But what I realized is I have this other half of me that loves art and loves just interesting things. And so whether that comes out through texture, whether that comes out through detail, hardware, different prints, even prints that are taken from different what we call CC0 images or paintings from historic things, right? That tell a story, because I love this story. Oh no.
I know. It's never enough time.
So fast. Anyway.
Yes, we're in overtime because I need to hear the rest of this.
But that's about it, is I just bring in what I think is interesting and what I would want to wear. And art, texture, novelty, as long as something hits on all of that, it fits in our brand.
Okay. I have to, even though we're over time, we've got a rapid fire section.
Okay.
So 5 questions. Just hit us with your best answers here. What's your favorite piece from your collection?
Jacquard pieces. So pieces that have designs woven into the fabric.
Amazing. What's your favorite color besides yellow?
Peach.
Peach. Okay.
Or off-white.
Yes.
Oh, I like off-white.
Current fashion trend you're loving?
Skinny scarves.
Dream model or collab? Who would it be?
Copper tone sunscreen. Don't ask why. I have a lot of vision for it, and they won't respond to any of my emails.
What?
If they're watching.
Exactly. Copper tone. Come on, pick the phone up. If you could rate anyone's closet, who would it be?
Someone like Meryl Streep, because she's got history attached to all these, pieces that she wore for certain things. I would love that.
Great
Good answer.
pick. Yes. Finally, one piece of advice you could give about starting and running a business.
Don't go too slow, and don't go so fast that it kills you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've done that.
Yep. Love it. This was amazing. Thank you for coming, telling your story, letting us literally peek behind the curtain. This was incredible.
Yeah, awesome. That was fun.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, until next time, you guys have a good day.